in a high impact like vehicular accident that you get in, a helmet is going to be it's not bad, obviously, but it's probably not going to stop the major trauma that would occur.
But it would have stopped the major trauma of Taylor Jackson here.
Just smashing your fucking face in the ground.
That's not happening.
Right. So okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I think we were talking about birth control recently, were we?
Hey, Kyla said she really appreciated that conversation.
Oh, really?
Yep.
I don't remember what we said. I think we were talking about like
We're talking about IUDs.
Right, and we were right, and we were talking about like you were saying,
Like, would you do the male birth control pill
Yes.
or whatever?
Yeah, that's right.
Well, we had. I'm going to kick off with.
Kyla told me she wanted me to get a vasectomy.
Oh yeah.
Not in as many words.
What did you say? Yeah.
No, I do. You know, it's funny because we were talking about it. Because she was like, "Hey, I actually, you know what she said to me? She said, you know what? I really appreciate the Friday episodes because like you guys just talk so openly about your fucking life."
And she was like, I learned things about you that we don't talk about at home.
Yeah, well, no, but not necessarily that I wouldn't talk about at home.
Not intentionally, but like you just say stuff, and she's like, "Oh, I didn't know that you were like we haven't yet had that conversation."
Yeah. I mean,
Maddie
we've
tells me that a lot
because we've sort of talked about that stuff, but not like explicitly. We haven't talked about vasectomy.
Do your partners listen to every Friday episode?
Dude, Kyla listens to potentially every episode.
Holy shit!
Maddie doesn't like.
I
the
feel like
Monday
my girlfriend
episodes
would
are
be
more
so
her jam.
it would like on top of hanging out with me would be so fucking tired of just. I get tired of hearing my own voice.
Well, that's the depth of our love. And
Kira, if you're listening to this, I don't doubt our love.
You don't even have to worry about saying that. She's not listening.
Anyway, exactly. You can say whatever the fuck you want. So Kyla said basically like, hey, like I heard the conversation the other day, and like, yeah, that was really interesting. The conversation about birth control and IUDs and vasectomy and everything. And then, you know,
Is she watching on YouTube though?
She was talking about she is watching on YouTube. She's a big YouTuber.
Sweet.
And so she was talking about the method that we were talking about, that
the pull-out method.
Yeah. Well, no.
The fertility method.
Yes. The don't have sex during this time of the month period method. And she was saying, you know, she was like, I feel like that would be the best way to do it, because then I wouldn't have to take a pill that would be hormonal. You wouldn't have to get a vasectomy, blah, 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 blah. But then she said, Kyle wouldn't mind me sharing this. When we were going through IVF, she had to do ovulation sticks for like a really long time. And like lots of people do ovulation sticks. Like you take them to figure out when you're ovulating. And
what are ovulation sticks?
They're like it's the same idea as a pregnancy test. You pee on it and it tells you if you're ovulating.
I'll show you an ovulation stick if you want.
Oh shit, Jared's got an ovulation stick, dude. You don't even have to take it. You could just need to be near enough to it, and it'll start.
For some reason, this is guys just so you know how my brain works.
Penis.
I know he was talking about his dick. Yeah,
but just so you know how
just for
my
clarification,
brain works.
and everybody there on YouTube, if you want, oh no, we can't show it on YouTube.
Yeah, we can watch.
Your ovulation stick?
Yeah, ready? Here it
comes. If anybody wants to see Jared's penis, just go to YouTube.
Wow, it's right there.
It's right
there.
Oh my god!
Holy shit!
God, it's so bulbous.
Don't zoom in on it, Brian.
Yeah,
it's so
I won't.
bulbous.
You don't even have to.
You are gonna have to blur that out.
But it's so tight. It's so
Don't
tight to your groin.
What time did that?
Bulbous.
Hold on. What time did that have? 3 minutes in. We gotta blur that out.
Okay.
So they're just like they're like a pregnancy test. You like sort of like you pee on them and then they tell you if you're ovulating or how close you are to it. Fuck, I can't remember now. But anyway, she was taking them, and lots of people take them when they're trying to get pregnant to try and like dial in like when the best time is. And especially if you're having trouble, then you would definitely start to take them because you're going, fuck, are we having sex at the right time? Like you're trying to make it more probable.
Yeah.
So she was taking this, but then she definitely developed like a bit of a trauma towards them because it was a symbol of like us having a lot of trouble.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
And so she was like, we were having a conversation about it, and she was saying, you know, if I was going to do that method, because Kyla's cycle is not super regular, it's not like dialed in to the same time every month, that she was like, well, I'd have to do the ovulation sticks at a certain time. And she was like, and that's technically okay, but I would have a tough time starting it because it's such a reminder of the trouble. that we went through.
Yeah.
And I said, well, I was like, I think that over time, although that would initially be hard, I think over time you develop hopefully a different relationship with it, that now it's a symbol of just trying to know when you're ovulating instead of
like
a
birth
reminder.
control. It would be like now it's like birth control.
Right.
In the way that you think
and then she was like, well, yeah, you might be right, but maybe not. And like, I'm not sure. And then I was like, so you want me to get a vasectomy? And I said it like kind of like half jokingly, but and she was like, no, I didn't say that. And I was like, I didn't say it like that. I wasn't like, oh, so you want me to get a vasectomy?
Oh, I see how it is.
Yeah.
Though I could see how your just general tone of voice, Taylor, would come across that way, but
because I'm so cold.
Yeah, you're just
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Well, speaking of trauma and speaking of birth control, we had someone write in.
Am I talking fast?
I mean, not nearly as fast as I usually talk.
Okay,
yeah,
good.
You're good.
Just checking.
You're par for the course for
thanks.
a podcast.
I only recently realized that I talk really fast. So birth control, rare side effect. This is the subject of this listener mail from C. We'll just leave it at C.
Okay.
You guys want to guess what C stands for?
Yeah.
Go.
Carmen.
Okay. And you?
Clara.
Nope. Good. We're good.
Carlos.
All right. So it says, hey, I was listening to your Feel Good Friday episode, May 27th, talking about birth control. I have a not so fun fact to add. So I am a female and almost 30 and recently had to switch my birth control because of one of the rare side effects.
That sounds like a Carly.
The rare side effect was liver spots.
Oh.
I get one removed. I got one removed 4 years ago. It was 1.5 centimeters and get scanned every year for them. And last year, my scan showed a new one. Got another MRI 6 months later, and now I have 3 spots that are all 3 to 4 centimeters. And the specialists don't want to remove them right now because of their location and risk of damaging my bowel if they were to do anything with them.
Are they cis?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm curious about, the word spot. I don't know what that means, but
I would guess cis.
For whatever reason, when I hear the word spot, I think of the dog Spot, and it sounds cute.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't
Yeah.
sound like it's that scary.
That's what the medical team says.
Yeah,
I think.
this doesn't sound very cute. They're
right.
adenomas caused by estrogen from long use of hormonal birth control. I never really wanted kids, but if I were to get pregnant, I'd have to be monitored closely because of the increase in estrogen makes them grow. From what I've read, when they are 5 centimeters or bigger, they have a risk of rupturing, causing internal bleeding. Was also advised by the surgeon if I get any of the symptoms of a rupture to go to emerge immediately. They also have a small possibility of turning into cancer.
Yeah.
Rare side effect, even more rare to cause problems, but another thing to add to the list. Love the pod and keep up the great work, boys. C.
Yeah, it says they're adenomas are non-cancerous tumors.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Wow. Liver spots. I don't know why I thought liver spots were like kind of like moles. You know, like you know what I think of liver spots? I think of Mr. Burns.
Yes.
And Mr. Burns is like liver spots on his head.
Yeah, like with the things that old people like the older you get these
if
fucking
you get old
spots.
enough.
But do you think that's what they look like?
No,
Or they're more bulbous?
I think I was incorrect in thinking that's what a liver spot was.
Yeah.
I thought liver spots were like external on the skin, like little dark spots that just kind of like come with age.
I thought they were, but they're on the liver spots. Or you thought they were all over. They could be anywhere.
Yeah, they could be anywhere.
Okay.
I thought they were just called liver spots. I don't know why. Hey, do you guys want to see something super fucking cute to kick off this Feel Good Friday?
Kick it.
Yes.
So one of my favorite Reddit channels is Our Contagious Laughter. It's fucking great. Like if I'm having a bad day, I'll just if I had a bad day before I go to sleep, I will lay down in bed and just scroll through Our Contagious Laughter before I go to sleep.
Interesting. I watch Curb.
And this is the kind of shit that you get with Our Contagious Laughter.
And this little baby could very well be part of the next generation of first responder. The little one who can't even walk yet.
It's a little baby doing CPR to a dummy.
Pumping the chest.
She's doing it perfect.
Guys, this is such a news. This is such an evening news.
Listen to her.
She is so cute. Oh my
This is such an evening news story.
that is so cute.
And now a baby doing CPR.
Okay, let's see here. All right, moving on. I
Taylor,
gotta
that's
stop
me
my
doing
giggle.
CPR on you
That
when you
is,
pass
yeah.
out by the fire.
Yeah. Yeah, you did it. You did it.
Our producer Dale.
You did it to
for
me.
providing that. Oh my God. 6:28. We'll be back right after this.
and we'll be back
She
with
loved it.
another mass shooting story soon.
Fuck, it was so cute.
Guys,
I mean, really, that's the news.
guys,
no.
I
That's
read
it.
an article, not to be a bummer after this really cute story. I read an article that after the Uvalde shooting, so that happened on like a Wednesday or Thursday. But
Taylor, man, this is Feel Good Friday.
I know
Fuck.
this is not very feel good. In between the Uvalde shooting and Memorial Day holiday, which was Monday, it said that there was 13 more mass shootings in the U.S.
Oh my God,
No.
that had 4 or more shot
Victims?
gun victims. Yeah.
Fucking U.S. man, get your shit together, dude.
And that there was like a story, it was some guy on CNN.
me.
It was like a viral CNN thing where one of the hosts was doing a story basically on this and saying, like, yes, the Buffalo shooting and the Uvalde shooting, like these make national news, but there are dozens
so many.
of shootings that, and this was basically highlighting the problem. They were going, this shit is so common in our country that like 95% of these are just local stories because it's so common.
Well,
Did you see the, just before you move on, did you see the,
I did see this as a
the
fucking
New
bummer.
York Times
cover
on the Sunday Review
Yeah.
is just repeatedly, it says, authorities said the gunman was able to obtain the weapon legally. And it's just quoting that repeatedly from like every publication from all of the most recent shootings. It's fucking
crazy.
bananas.
Well, here's a
Anyway.
feel-good story to cleanse the palate, but also kind of a fucked story. This is from Stina on her Discord. Thank you, Stina. You good producer.
The newest Discord moderator
That's
as well.
right.
Fantastic.
This is from CBC Newfoundland. How a quick-thinking doctor with a drill saved a man's life. This is a fucking
Trepidation?
wild story. Yep, pretty much. Quote, I took the drill and put it against the bone. Patey recalled in a recent interview with CBC News. I took it out and cruddy old blood started coming out like cranberry sauce.
Oh my God.
All right, so this is the story. It's a wild story. Enjoying a warm day in a park in Marystown, a guy, Taylor Jackson, who's now 27, pushes his 2 boys, Roman, who's 4, and Carter, who's 8, on a swing set with his wife. He sat down to share his story as a cautionary tale to the kids he's seen around town riding their bikes without their helmets. Now, I have something to say to you about this, Taylor, afterwards. Quote, it's really not something I would wish on anybody else, he said. So on July 16th, 2010, a date Jackson has tattooed on the back of his neck, and then 15-year-old the then 15-year-old hopped onto his bike without his helmet, which he says he usually wore, but just not on that day. And pedaling as quickly as he could to the softball field in South Dildo. Folks, if you didn't know this, there is a town in Newfoundland called Dildo, and that's funny.
It's honestly, it's not even just that the town is called Dildo. There's like the fact that there's like 15 other towns around it that are all named funny things.
Yeah,
too.
They're all conception based.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
all like
Conception Bay.
Yeah.
You know?
It's funny.
So he said, quote, it was a big thing, summer softball, said Jackson. The game ended around midday, and he hopped on his bike to head home. He pushed off down a hill, and then everything came to a crashing halt. Bombing down a dirt road hill, he isn't sure what happened, but his helmetless head went over the handlebars and smashed into a fucking rock.
Ouch.
Quote, everything just happened so quick, Jackson recalled. I fractured my skull and didn't really know it. Somehow, Jackson pulled himself from the ground and, despite tremendous pain, managed to pedal to his aunt's house before his grandmother rushed him to the Whitbourne Medical Center.
That's where
Whitbourne Medical Clinic.
That's where Paul Hutchins is from, Whitburn.
Quote, as soon as I got to my nan's house, everything went black for me. I can't remember much. I was in and out of consciousness, Jackson said. I woke up 2 weeks later to find out I had brain surgery and a plate inside my head.
Guys, I've been so fucked up in Whitburn.
On July 16th,
You probably met this guy because there's not that many people there.
Probably.
On July 16th, 2010, Dr. Paul Patey was just a few hours into his 24-hour locum shift at the William H. Newhook Community Health Center. Patey, who had officially retired a few years earlier, kept busy doing the work he loved, filling in as a family doctor in rural hospitals. A graduate of McGill Medical School in the late 60s, Patey had years of rural medical practice under his stethoscope, along with more than 25 years at the Health Sciences Center and Memorial University's medical school. To keep busy, he offered to fill in around the province in places that needed a short stint doctor. When Jackson's grandmother dropped him off at the hospital that July day, he knew right away the severity of the situation. Quote, "I said to the nurse, 'We got a catastrophe here,'" Patey said. At that point, Jackson was still conscious, but he couldn't speak. When asked to by the doctor, he wasn't able to wiggle his toes or his fingers on one side of his body. Patey said the young man needed a CAT scan, and a team of doctors not available at the health center, and a team of doctors which were not available at the health center in Whitburn.
Man, that's crazy that he biked to his aunt's house, considering the fact that he couldn't
with a
even-
major brain injury.
Yeah, couldn't
Oh, he
wiggle
got
his
up and-
fingers
oh,
and toes.
okay.
And stuff. Yeah.
I missed that.
And then his grandmother took him to the health clinic. With an ambulance en route from nearby Smith's Ambulance Services, Patey made sure he had everything needed for the hour-long ride to the Janeway Children's Hospital in St. John's, where I was born. He grabbed a scalpel from the medical center and then asked a staff member to grab a drill and some drill bits. If things went south with Jackson, he knew the 12-volt power drill could be the only thing aboard the ambulance to save his life. Patey explained that the brain needed to be in a protected space, the skull, but when there is damage to the skull and it fills with blood, there isn't much room left over. He said, quote, "It squats the brain," said Patey. "If you squat the brain enough, you kill it." The first thing he did was make sure the drill worked. Quote, "There's no point in getting down the road and finding a dead battery," he said.
Oh.
In a twist of fate, Patey said it was
that's
just
so-
a few weeks earlier.
That's so like.
I mean,
what good
really
thinking,
Yeah,
because
he's
like
thinking ahead of.
you know, like even like not only did he need to think about, like, obviously you need to get the drill, but man, how many times have you gone to get a drill?
The drill
and the
here
battery's
at the
fucking
fucking
dead?
office. The amount of times I pulled the drill out
Yeah.
here and I go, fucking shit.
I'm a dad now. I bought a drill.
Yeah.
And the project, I mean, I've just been Project Central since I've been a dad. And dead batteries, dead batteries everywhere.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
So
But
this
guy,
This is really trippy. It says, in a twist of fate, Patey said it was just a few weeks earlier he had been showing his grandson how to drill holes through plywood cleanly to avoid making a mess in his workshop. With Jackson's pulse dropping to 35 beats per minute, Patey starts with an incision into Jackson's scalp. This is in the back of the ambulance.
That's my resting heart rate.
He tells the ambulance driver, he says, pull over. You need to pull over right now.
yeah, because the bumps.
They pull over to the side of the road. It's the Dr. Patey, a nurse from the clinic, and the paramedic. He goes, I need all of you in the back. Nurse, take his head, hold his head very steady. You pull the fucking ambulance over, get back here and help me. So Jackson's pulse drops to 35 beats per minute. Patey starts with an incision into Jackson's scalp to get clear access to the skull. And with the paramedic pulling the scalp back and the nurse holding his head in place, a quick squeeze of the power drill's trigger, and it's done. Quote, we knew we had to reduce the pressure. Now we had a different problem, said Patey. We had the bleeding in his head, but now that could get out through the hole, so the pressure wouldn't get any worse. But we had bleeding in his scalp because we had to make an awful big cut. The clock was ticking to get Jackson to St. John's before he bled to death, which they did, and they were greeted by a team from the Janeway's emergency room.
Wow.
Save this fucking kid's life in the back of an ambulance with a power drill just drilling into his skull.
Like with a DeWalt?
Yeah.
Like not like a medical drill?
No. In the article, I read it earlier, and he said that there was drywall in the drill bit. So like while
You're
the
joking.
ambulance was
You're joking.
No, while the ambulance was pulling over, he was picking the drywall out and
No.
grabbed something in the back of the ambulance to sterilize the
it,
fucking drill bit.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like he literally just said, "You janitor, give me that fucking drill. Does it work? Let's go. Get in the fucking ambulance." They get in the
Wow.
ambulance, and he's like, "Gotta go now. Stop the ambulance. Get back here."
Can we get that guy on the podcast to tell this? I want to hear. I want to
I'd
hear
love
that
to get
from
Mr.
his
Patey
fucking.
on. Yeah.
You know what the thing is that would be a huge bummer in this situation is because sometimes you can fire a drill with battery in it and it seems like it's on and works, but then as soon as the drill meets resistance,
It's
Yeah.
like
it doesn't have the power
Yeah.
to go through the resistance. I'm like, so how tough is a skull
Yeah.
compared to like a piece of plywood?
Well, the
they-
wild thing
they-
is too is he not only that he needs to know. He needs like
How
not
far?
only he needs to know how far he's going in.
That's the
You know,
trickier
like
part.
because you know when you're drilling and you like you get past the wood and it goes, and like it's sort of like
Oh,
it
yeah.
like sucks in.
Yeah.
Dude, like that is
Because it's not
ultimate
biting
control.
anymore.
But
And- and the
but
thing
we're
is,
not
he's
talking about.
he's not a fucking neurosurgeon.
No, but we're talking. No, but he's a father, right? We know. Didn't they say?
Patey?
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, so like, a dad just knows. A dad,
yeah,
like
yeah,
the more
yeah.
Taylor, I feel like
But Jackson's also a father now.
as soon as you had a kid,
Yeah.
like
oh,
then
you got
you just get these new level of skills.
drill depth.
Yeah, yeah.
Drill depth
Yeah.
is like
And that-
it's like
I
it's
see
like
it.
you know what it's
I
like.
see where you're going,
Right?
right?
It's like being the scene. You know
we
the,
can't imagine.
I
No, no,
couldn't. I
no,
can't change
you
the tire
can't
until I
imagine.
have a kid.
No, you know in the Matrix, in the Matrix where like when they're like, "Do you want to know kung fu?" and
Yeah,
they just
yeah.
like they hook them up
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they download it. Like
As
when-
soon as the
it's-
baby falls out of Kyla's vagina,
I literally
you go,
went. I went. "Ugh,
You come,
and I went drill depth
Yeah.
downloaded. Oh my god, I know drill depth now.
You just come online. So yeah, congratulations to Dr. Patey for saving Jack's.
I'm really
Taylor's
curious.
life. But listen, here's what I wanted to say. We were at your place having a soak in the hot tub, and we were going our merry way, me and Taylor, and you hopped on your bike and you were biking away without a helmet. And Kira was like, "Is he not wearing a helmet?" And I was like, "Nah, he's just going down the road. He's just going to his house." And she was like, "Didn't he just get hit by a fucking car on his bike?" And I was like, "He did." And she was like, "Tell him that's stupid."
That's on that. Like I
That's all I
get,
wanted to say.
I-
I knew
I
what
get
your
it.
response was going to be. I knew your response was going to be like, well, you know, I know what I'm doing.
I get it, but at the same time, I know
You're
that,
dad now, dude.
I know that this might sound stupid to a lot of people, but like when I don't know when you ride and like race and go and ride a bike the way that I do when I am like riding and which I 100% of the time wear a helmet. It's like it's sort of like a different thing, and there's a whole plethora of studies out there that basically say something along the lines of like in major accidents like that a helmet is really not the thing that's going to save your life.
Wow.
But they-
letters at sickboypodcast.com.
Wait,
Send
I-
us your
yeah.
emails.
You can
let us
and-
know your
and-
thoughts about that statement.
and you can give your thoughts, but at the same time,
it ain't gonna change his mind.
no, I'm just saying you can have your thoughts, and I understand the thoughts. Dude, Kyla has those thoughts, and I
Hey,
get
Kyla, you're right.
it, and I get
Yeah.
it, I get it.
Good job, Kyla.
But
We know you're listening right now.
There's a whole bunch of research out there, and
I can't imagine that the research
you know
is
what,
like, don't wear a helmet.
yeah. But I agree with you though. Like I'm really good at driving my car, and so like seatbelts are fucking for losers. Like I don't,
Especially
ever
on
wear
a short
seatbelt.
trip.
Yeah,
where,
yeah,
like
yeah.
you're just
no,
yeah.
I get it. But when you are going like from a short distance, and I'm just cruising along, my biggest problem that I'm going to face is somebody else. It's somebody else. It's not me. It's the person that's going to hit me with their car. And the research that I'm talking about is basically saying that in a high impact like vehicular accident that you get in, a helmet is going to be it's not bad obviously, but it's probably not going to stop the major trauma that would occur.
But
You know what would have
in a
stopped the
vehicular
major
accident
trauma
like that.
of Taylor Jackson here?
And then
a helmet.
let me
short ride to the
finish
ball
this.
field.
Yeah. But if
short ride to the ball field.
Yeah, and if you're bombing down a dirt, I'm not fucking laying blame here, but if you're bombing down a dirt path, there are that's a lot different than going down
but what-
a paved road.
Yeah,
there's-
sure.
wait,
But
wait,
what if a car turns onto whatever it is, Trollop
No,
Alley or
man.
whatever, and you go over the hood?
I get it.
And your head hits
I get
the
it.
curb.
Not
I
even
get
that,
it.
dude. You guys are missing the biggest thing that I know two people that this has happened to, where
Chloe Luckett.
not even accidents. Like
Oh.
I'm talking about Emily when her wheel,
Yes.
whatever happened,
Yeah.
flipped the handlebars, head drive into
Yeah.
the pavement. Our friend Justin Facette, same thing, biking down the street, like on just from
Just
one host
flat,
to the next.
flat.
Front wheel comes off.
Yep.
Flip. Like I would be worried about
It'll
A girl we
you-
just had on the
like,
podcast.
the wheel, something happening with your front wheel, and you getting launched it, whether you're going
this boy.
fucking 20 kilometers an
Yeah.
hour or what, just smashing your fucking face in the ground.
Yeah.
No vehicle.
and your
just
bike's a fast bike.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I take care of my bike every single day, so
Yeah.
that wheel's not that's not
Right,
happening.
right. So okay,
Yeah.
well, yeah.
And I will say that the other side of that research, or like it's part and parcel of how this is because this is a topic that comes
Can we
up
play
on,
this? Can we play this
When
clip
I'm-
from the show at your funeral?
when I have brain
Yeah,
damage. Yeah,
yeah.
sure.
I also get that
just as like a learning
Hey,
lesson.
listen, Taylor. Listen, I get that helmets are just so uncool
I
that you
don't-
just don't want to fucking wear
and
them.
don't
they
think
fuck
they're-
up your cool flow.
I don't
get it.
think they're uncool. I have a
Then
fucking
why
great
not
helmet.
wear one?
Anyway, the other side of that, and like, this isn't towards, this is more of a biking in general and like health and environmental stuff. Is they
Bikes
basically
are full of microplastics.
Is they
and,
ba-
and you
no,
don't
no.
want to put that shit too close
no
to your
seriously
head.
no seriously. Let me say this. So they're talking about they're weighing the risk of like head injury, and then they're weighing that against well, when you have helmet laws, this is more towards not whether you should wear a helmet or not, because I think I can't disagree with that. You should wear a helmet. I get it, and I should wear a helmet. I'll say that I should wear a helmet no matter the distance. But these things, this research is weighing when you have a bike helmet law that says that you have to wear a helmet to ride a bike, that you see that in those areas where helmet laws exist, that you see far less investment in bike infrastructure and far less people riding bikes because of a very small very small barrier to entry to do that. But then it limits the amount of people riding bikes. And then what that does is it limits bike infrastructure, which makes it more dangerous than to ride bikes, because cities don't put in the infrastructure that separates bikes from cars.
Hey, I get it. If you're like, I have a bike, I got a bike for $100. I use it to get to work, and I can't afford to buy $100 helmet, but I want to ride my bike there. I understand. Like,
And
that's
commuters,
one thing, but
commuters are riding bikes in much different ways. Like you see a commuter, like, they're not riding a bike in the same way that my brain is experiencing riding a bike because of the speeds that I go. Do you know what I mean? And like the attention, it's like car racing versus driving a car on the street.
it's. But I could also see the argument that, like, because you're used to going really fast and biking with a different level of intensity.
He tried to pass my car while we were driving away from your house.
I tried to draft your car,
without a helmet.
which I did.
And so the other thing that I think is that, like, I could see how you could become more what's the word that I'm looking for, like, not paying attention when you're going at a slower speed, because you're like, well, this is second nature to me. I don't have to worry as much about it.
Nah.
And then therefore
He was also doing
Yeah.
He was also doing fucking wheelies and no
Yeah.
hands.
Again,
Yeah.
I will say I agree. I should be wearing a helmet. I'm just gonna lay that out there, so everyone who goes out there is fucking pissed at me. Then-
what I wanted to come back
please,
to the
please write us a really angry
Yeah.
email, letters@sicknopodcast.com.
yeah, please
I want to
tell
read
us
it.
why. Tell us
And
why.
then tell me
Taylor.
that I can say
Yeah.
your name.
So the other thing I wanted to say is to come back to the drill in the head story. I'm curious, what do you guys think? Like, when I hear about a person in that situation where they get to do something like fucking crazy like that, like
Yeah.
I assume that, and this is just me maybe going out on a limb here, but like I assume that when you're in medical school and they teach you about like something like that, where you're drilling into somebody's body, it's like one of those like afternoon classes where they're like, and this will probably never happen,
Yeah.
but like, here's how you would do it.
Yeah.
And so I imagine that there's this sort of aspect to that scenario where you're like, this could be it.
Yeah.
This could be the fucking situation. I think of it like when I walk down the street in the summer and it's a hot summer day, and I see a car parked on the side of the road and the windows are up and there's a dog in the back. I'm like, whoa, could this be the day that I get to smash somebody's windows out to save their dog? And not necessarily that I'm going to do that, but like I just think of
You're not allowed to do that.
I think of wait, you're not allowed to break people's windows to
Nope.
save their dog?
Nope.
Why not?
Because you're not.
probably because you have no fucking idea what the situation is.
Yeah.
And
You
and
will get in trouble if you
I'm
do
just
that.
saying. I'm not
I mean,
saying. I'm
maybe
listen,
the
I've
trouble's
never,
maybe
guys,
the trouble's
guys,
worth it.
Guys, I've
not saying
never
it's not worth
smashed
it.
anybody's windows out to save their dog, but I'm just saying that if you saw
Maybe
a
you will
dog
have
in
to,
the back of a hot car,
Yeah.
and
I would
and
do
you
it.
and you stood there and you watched for maybe 20 minutes,
Yeah.
30 minutes, and it was
30
clearly
minutes, dog's dead.
the car's not on and it's a hot summer day. You wouldn't do
Oh no,
that.
I would. But I would also know that I am going to be charged with
Oh yeah, I
paying
wouldn't care
for that
about that
fucking
either.
person's
if you
window.
stood there and it was like 20 or 30 minutes, like, yeah,
I'm not saying you
Sure.
walk by and just smash it out because
some people do that.
Yeah. Well,
Some
I'm
people
not-
do
I
that when
wasn't
there's no
per-
dogs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Some people are.
Some people do that in the winter
Dude,
when no dogs are present.
we went to a restaurant.
And then they take your money.
We were having breakfast at Mary's one day a few years ago, and it was like 12 degrees outside and overcast. And I had Loki in the car, windows, like all the windows cracked. And we were in Mary's for about 10 minutes, and a cop came into Mary's and asked whose car was mine. I said mine. They said, we just got a call. We're talking, we were in the restaurant. We were in Mary's for 10 minutes, 12-degree day, overcast. Cop came in and said, somebody just called the cops
That's pretty wild.
saying that my dog was in
Yeah.
the car.
Well, we have a lot to get through, and I might have to cut some stuff out because I didn't realize we were going to be having an intervention. So, do you guys know what dry drowning is? Have you ever heard of dry drowning? This is also for you, Tay.
Well, I know that there's something called secondary
Yes.
drowning
Yes.
syndrome or something like that for
Oh,
babies.
Yes.
Is this when they drink water and they drown from like
Yeah,
drinking
babies
water?
aren't supposed to have water for a long time.
Well, I didn't
We were
even
talking
know
about
that.
this the other day.
Yeah, Cokes's baby had like 2 drops of water.
Who's Cokes?
Nicole McClellan, do you know?
Nope.
used
But
to-
I'm glad you're filling everybody in at
Well, I
home
used-
who Cokes
Anyway, I
is.
used to live there, or Kylie used to live there, and
Just fucking say names that no one knows.
whatever, dude. and
Jesus Christ.
well, you know.
We were I was
We have an
talking about this-
audience of hundreds of thousands of people.
Wait,
and
I'm talking to you guys. I'm
I
not talking
know,
to them.
but that's what our job is.
Yeah, I know, but we're talking
And I don't even fucking know Cokes.
anyway.
I was like, is that a celebrity?
I was talking to my
Besides the
brother about
point,
this the other day, and
Koch
he was
brothers?
saying he was saying like, you know, when people tell stories and they tell a story and just use somebody's name that you don't know,
As if you're supposed to
and he
know
was
it.
like, I think it's because they have main character syndrome, and they're just like, I assume that everybody knows because I do.
I'm the main
Yeah.
character, and I feel like everyone knows the peripheral characters.
That's it.
Well, her baby had like, she said that their baby swallowed like 2 drops of water, and I think that there's a thing, and I could be wrong. I'm assuming you're about to tell us,
Yeah.
but that there's because of like the texture of it or something, there's like a really high chance of them aspirating
Yeah.
on the
Well,
water.
Yeah, so this is all about why drinking water is bad. So, what is dry drowning? This is a conversation I was talking about dry drowning with Ryan, and you all know Ryan, right?
I know
And
Ryan,
and
I'm glad that you said who it was.
Which Ryan? I don't
so
fucking know.
when a child or an adult
Oxner.
falls into the water, it's human nature to inhale or gulp down water in a state of panic. Once the person has been rescued from the water, most of us would assume that the danger is over. Not the case. But after taking in water through the nose or mouth, the muscles in your windpipe can become constricted to protect your lungs. Some people have labeled this condition dry drowning, though this is not a medical term or diagnosis. Doctors call the phenomenon post-immersion syndrome, and though it's rare, it does happen. Dry drowning mainly occurs in children. While 95% of children are fine after accidentally slipping underwater, it's important to be vigilant, and aware of drowning symptoms that can happen once your child appears safe and dry. Dry drowning is a medical emergency that requires prompt attention. So, dry drowning versus secondary drowning, I think they're two different things. Dry drowning and secondary drowning are both the result of injuries that happen underwater. Dry drowning sets in less than an hour after inhaling water, but secondary drowning, which is also rare, can happen up to 48 hours after a water accident.
Whoa.
That's crazy.
Secondary drowning is caused by water that accumulates
Nice
in the
shirt, Brian.
lungs.
Nice.
It's more similar to what we think of as, quote, real drowning because it involves your lungs filling up with water. The water then causes breathing difficulties. Both dry drowning, and secondary drowning are serious health conditions that can be fatal. So here are the symptoms of dry drowning.
I feel like these things would be impossible to detect.
They would probably be pretty tough. Yeah. Yeah. Because again, you come out of the water and you look fine. It's like, well, what are you going to worry about? You know?
Right. Yeah.
So here are the symptoms to hopefully pick that out. You should notice the warning signs of dry drowning within an hour of getting out of the water. Dry drowning causes the vocal cords to close over the windpipe. This effect is called laryngospasm. The laryngospasm could be mild, causing breathing to become difficult, or it could be severe, preventing any oxygen from getting in or out of the lungs. Symptoms to watch out for after a water incident include difficulty breathing or speaking, irritability or unusual behavior, coughing, chest pain, low energy, or sleepiness after a water incident. If your child is having difficulty breathing, they may be unable to speak or express their symptoms. That's why it's important to monitor your child carefully after a water scare to make sure they are breathing freely. Treatment for dry drowning. So if you see any of the symptoms of dry drowning, you need emergency medical assistance. So dial 911 without delay. In the meantime, to keep yourself or your child calm, try to keep yourself or your child calm during the duration of the laryngospasm. Keeping calm can help the windpipe muscles to relax more quickly. Once emergency help arrives, they will administer treatment at the scene. This may involve resuscitation if someone has passed out due to lack of oxygen. Once the person is stable, they'll be taken to the hospital for observation. Having symptoms of dry drowning after a submersion incident requires medical observation to make sure that regular breathing resumes and to rule out other conditions such as secondary drowning or bacterial pneumonia. A chest x-ray or evaluation by a pulmonary specialist may be necessary to rule out water in the lungs. So to prevent dry drowning is a type of drowning which is one of the leading causes of death in young children. But you can minimize the chances of drowning by doing your best to prevent water accidents altogether.
Can you say dry drowning?
Dry drowning. In the case of...
He's an actor. Dry drowning.
Dry drowning.
Okay. In the case of children 2 years old and younger, any water submersion is a serious risk. Now, this is crazy. In the case of children 2 years old and younger, any water submersion is a serious risk. You guys know these fucking videos of these crazy parents doing this fucking thing where they're going...
I thought that
they're
was
like
good.
dropping their infants in water to like so they can like rewrite themselves.
Yeah.
You know what they're actually doing?
To
They're
me
literally
is fucking crazy.
You know what they're doing? They're taking videos, hoping that their kid will have some sort of issue that will be funny, and they can post it on social media.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe some of them, but like I don't know if it's so much that.
No,
but
exclusively that.
It's just crazy to me that that's a thing. And if you haven't seen those videos, look up like infant dropping infants in water.
You're not supposed to when I
crazy.
give Zaya a bath, you put them in this little, we fill the bath up like a few inches with water, and then there's like a little there's like this little like baby sized little like bowl that you basically put them in, because if you put them down in the water, even if the water isn't like nearly to their mouth, and they were to like turn their head
like she did when I was holding her.
Yeah, but like laying flat on her back in like a couple inches of water and turn her head and then like just water go into her mouth. Like that is just that is like a major risk for...
Dude, that's crazy.
Here's a wild thing that they say. Even if a child is just, this is so obvious to me, even if a child is just under the water for a minute or two, take them straight to the emergency room. Well, yeah.
Dude, if
I was under the water for a minute or two, I'd be dead.
Yeah.
Keep these safety rules in mind when you have a small child in your care. So supervise the children who are under 4 in any body of water. This includes the bathtub. Children under 4 of the age should never swim or bathe unassisted. Passengers of all ages should wear life jackets while boating. I mean, this is all the things we know.
Zaya's so close to being able to bathe herself, so I don't have to be in the room anymore. I go make dinner, I put her in the tub. She rubs herself down.
Guys. But so this...
Do you ever listen to the Nick Swartzen joke of the baby that committed suicide when he left it in for the bath?
Oh my God! Wow,
it's really funny. That's the like. I mean, I don't want to like fucking try to recreate a
okay,
joke, but the punchline is like, Just a selfish act. No note.
Oh
Just
my
a selfish
God,
act.
that's so vicious.
But that thing where like you actually like it's so popular now, putting the baby in the pool
to
and
me,
letting it rewrite itself.
I equate that like it's like baby water safety, so they can like rewrite themselves and not drown. That to me is the same shit as like the parents that are like, yeah, my baby's got like meningitis, but like we're just gonna give it some St. John's wort and save it.
I don't
And it's
know
like-
though.
and then like a week later, your
So-
baby's dead, and they're like, well, but the naturopath told us to give it fucking.
But I'm not
honey."
sure. So I'm not sure because I think
Manduka
of
honey.
I think of the that Manduka honeys were very good for you. But the
Yeah, I'm
thing
sure
that I
it
think
is.
is
Not good
Outside
enough,
of
not good enough to
meningitis.
save your baby from fucking pneumonia.
but the thing that I wonder is that the thing about the water safety bit is that the baby is learning to rewrite itself actually. And as far as I'm aware, it's not like 1% of the babies in those classes just end up having that secondary drowning syndrome. Like if that
mean,
was
if that
happening,
was
they just
happening,
wouldn't
they
fucking
wouldn't be
do
doing
I
that,
think it's
right?
still. I think
And
it's
so-
still rare. It's still quite rare.
So it must be relatively more than relatively safe to go and do those classes. And my understanding is that the purpose of them is that like if you own a pool
And your baby,
the baby fucking goes in the
falls
pool,
and you don't know.
then it can rewrite
Yeah,
itself.
yeah.
And if you're a parent letting your fucking baby crawl into the pool, that's not you're not doing a good job.
Shouldn't have had a baby.
But like
Probably shouldn't have
I
had a
could
pool either.
see how that would be beneficial. The one thing that I'm more curious
like
about.
the risk, it's like is like
Well, I don't know what the risk is because I don't actually know what the risk.
well,
that's
according
at a
to
minute.
this, according
The
to
risk
this,
is this.
The risk
Well,
is this.
I know, but it said a minute or two, and I'm wondering, is the risk so like the risk could be that, but have babies died in those classes?
Dude, I bet you.
I wouldn't say that
I
it's.
bet you.
I wouldn't say that's never happened.
Yeah.
I would say that it's extremely rare.
We don't know anything
So-
about it. If you're one
Right.
of these fucking idiots out there dropping your baby in a goddamn pool with a swim instructor, a hot swim instructor, I don't know why they're always cute.
If you're
and-
somebody that
and-
thinks that I'm justified in not wearing a helmet, then you're probably a type of person that's doing this too, and you can let us know. and if you write about this and say that you do this, then I know you're on my side.
My point is that I don't know enough about it to have that opinion of it. But
Me neither, but I also feel strongly
But
about
the
it.
curiosity, my curiosity is more so about. I would be more concerned about the baby being traumatized by being put into fucking
like
water.
Donut. Like if I just tossed Donut out of a canoe and was like, "Come on, dude, you're swimming back to shore."
Yeah.
Yeah,
he would do it, but he'd be like, "And also, never go and swim with you again, Dad."
Yeah.
You know.
And for those of you who don't know, Donut is a dog, and
Yeah,
Jeremy
sorry.
owns a
Yeah.
dog.
Sorry,
and
sorry.
by the way,
Fuck, I'm the main
my
character
dog,
in my own story.
my dog Rupert, when he was like 10 weeks old, he walked off the end of a dock, and now he just doesn't like swimming.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so
Yeah,
I
that's
don't know. Does
Bigby
that
too. I threw Bigby off a dock once, and he
Well,
was like, "Well, never." But I don't
guys-
think Bigby's made to swim.
Speaking of infants dying,
which is all we do now.
Oh, God.
I mean,
God.
not dying.
It's
But
a real
Zaya-
good feel good Friday.
Zaya got her first round of vaccines this morning.
You fucking monster!
I
You gave
know.
her vaccines.
I know. I can't believe I put a chip in her. Now the government knows where she is.
I am curious when you get into this. I'm curious what the like if there's when they ask you if you want to, do they ask you if you want to get the vaccines, or they tell you like these are the vaccines you're getting?
Dude, the medical system is very much like, well, because saying that I shouldn't get vaccines for my child is the dumbest fucking thing.
I know.
The medical system gives you zero room. Like they go, and they're not pushing. They just go, and this is when you'll get them.
Yeah.
They're not like, have you thought about it? And blah, 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 because that's dumb.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
we
that's
shouldn't
why. That's why we don't have to worry about smallpox.
yes, exactly. And so they just go,
At least,
they're
at least
not
why we
like,
didn't have to worry about smallpox until now.
yeah, they don't sit you down and go, you have to get your child vaccinated. They just go, and this is when you'll get your child vaccinated. Here's the card, and here is all the information of what vaccines they get and when, and you have appointments and all that.
If
shit.
you
So-
didn't show up, would they come and take her from you?
no, but they should follow up and go, hey, we're wondering why you
Yeah.
haven't got your child
Yeah.
vaccinated, because like the mess of the last 2 years, and I read an article the other day that was basically about the wave of illnesses that we will see, or that we could see in the coming generation of kids that are being born in this time frame of COVID, because anti-vaccination has become such a large sentiment.
Rampant. Yeah.
So people, and again, I'm not going to sit here and say that a brand new vaccine that no one's ever seen before, using a technology that's never been used before, isn't cause to ask questions and want to know all the information that's available about it.
Hesitancy,
But like,
which is fine.
But this is
Different.
settled.
Yeah,
There's no like,
yeah.
this is decades of use.
Yeah.
And you all got them. And unless you think that you are irreparably fucked up from vaccines as a child, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
So she got her vaccines today. She got diphtheria, and that's like combined with a couple other things. She got pneumococcal, pneumococcal.
See, man, it's fucking hard. These words are hard.
Pneumococcal conjugate, which is like a pneumonia, chest infection type deal. And then she got rotavirus, and rotavirus is like the shit your brains out.
She got rotavirus?
No. She got the vaccine.
Oh, wow.
She got the vaccine.
Because I was going to say that would suck if they just gave it to her.
So rotavirus,
give her
a little bit of interesting, just like vaccine talk. Rotavirus, and this is something that I came across in like the last 6 months. Rotavirus was developed by a team of people, but most notably a guy named Paul Offit. And Paul Offit was on the board of like the vaccine advisory committee, I think, for the FDA. And when they basically said that everybody should get the booster, the COVID booster, most of the people on the FDA advisory board for vaccines said we disagree with that suggestion, because the evidence was showing basically that if you were above a certain age, then the booster was like a really good choice. And if you had certain illnesses, comorbidities, then it was also a very good choice. But below a certain age and in a healthy category, this was not, it just didn't seem necessary from the data. And he basically said, I disagree with this. And he became this guy who developed the rotavirus vaccine. He's a vaccinologist. That's what he does. His whole career is developing vaccines. He basically was vilified by the medical community as an anti-vaxxer. Yeah. Just an interesting little side story.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, speaking of smallpox, can't believe we haven't covered this yet. It's been a few weeks, but this is this week's edition of What the Hell? Monkeypox.
Yeah.
What to know about monkeypox, including how it spreads, as the CDC confirms a case in the U.S. There's cases here in Canada. There's cases all over the world. So
I've actually been avoiding reading about this.
Talk?
No, just because I've assumed that at some point I would learn about it.
You're gonna have
through
it.
you on the podcast.
Yeah. Well, here you go. A Massachusetts resident was diagnosed with the extremely rare virus, but the CDC has said this case poses, quote, no risk to the public. So no need to go out and buy toilet paper yet, folks.
Man, guys.
Here's a photo of the virus itself. So we might be becoming extraordinarily familiar with this image, as we were with the way that COVID looked.
No,
this one looks cooler.
It does look cool.
This one looks more inclusive.
It looks like the universe. It looks like the full scale of the universe.
Yeah.
Maddie went to Costco the other day and bought a package of toilet paper
Dude,
from
did
Costco.
she ever? I saw it and it was as tall as me.
How big?
It was big.
Why?
It was like 100 rolls.
Why is there so much?
I don't know. Costco's fucked.
That was probably a product that they innovated post-COVID toilet shortage.
Yeah.
I think it was called the pandemic pack.
Probably.
After multiple cases of monkeypox started
Kirkland signature
popping up around the world, it has now reached the U.S. with a Massachusetts resident testing positive. This isn't the first time U.S. has seen cases of monkeypox. In 2003, there was an outbreak of 47 cases, according to the CDC. The virus, which is rare, was named after it was initially found in monkey colonies used for scientific research. The virus is not typically seen in the U.S. or in Europe, and the CDC is urging healthcare providers in the U.S. to be alert for possible monkeypox cases. And so here's what we need to know. What is monkeypox? Well, it was first identified in, do you want to take a guess?
The United States.
No. What date?
No.
What year was it first identified?
1967.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 72.
You were closer, Brian. 1958. In colonies of monkeys, and the first human case of the virus was found in 1970 in the Dominican Republic of the Congo, according to the CDC.
Dominican Republic of the Congo?
Yep.
Is it called the
Sorry,
Dominican?
Democratic Republic of,
Oh.
of the Congo. Cases have mostly been concentrated to the Congo, which typically sees thousands of monkeypox infections a year. And Nigeria, where there have been 200 confirmed and 500 reported cases since 2017. So, definitely cases, but like not crazy numbers. It's related to smallpox, which was around for centuries until international efforts to vaccinate people against the virus led it to be officially declared as eradicated in 1980.
But did
before
we
were
really
alive.
need to do that?
Yeah.
No.
What, couldn't we have just left it? So the smallpox vaccine actually works really well against monkeypox as well.
Oh.
So what are the symptoms? Well, in most cases, monkeypox is pretty mild. After an incubation period of 7 to 14 days, the first signs are fever, headache, muscle aches, chills, and exhaustion. And the main difference between it and smallpox is that monkeypox causes swollen lymph nodes. Around 1 to 3 days after those first symptoms, infected people will develop a rash, typically on the face, that then spreads to other parts of the body. So here's some images of it. And man, it's kind of yucky. Look at that.
Whoa, crazy.
Yeah, pretty nasty. Looks like it would feel good to pick.
Yeah, it does.
Look at this one. This one makes me feel a little weird.
Oh,
that one looks
yeah.
like it would feel good to pop.
That's a big like blister.
Like
it
just
looks
think-
like.
imagine putting a little fine needle in that and
Yeah.
then squeeze it around the sides.
The first one looked like a scab that you would like to pick.
Yeah.
That just like something you like cut your knuckle on something
Yeah.
and it was a deep scab and then you just got to pick it
Yeah.
after. The second one is like a mixture of the chicken pox and like blister
Yes.
or like pimple, big
So-
pimple.
So the rash will turn into these fluid-filled blisters that will eventually turn into these, which are scabbed over after about 2 to 3 weeks.
Man, the crazy thing is that the blistery looking ones, they look like pimples with like really wide white heads.
So yeah, they
Like
look
big,
like
big, big.
infected pimples.
Yeah.
You know, guys, it's crazy. I know that this is related to smallpox, but it's not smallpox. But just the fact that smallpox has a vaccine and it's more or less eradicated, even though there are some cases now, probably because of people not getting their children vaccinated. It says it was one of the most devastating diseases known to humanity and caused millions of deaths before it was eradicated. It is believed to have existed for at least 3,000 years.
Fake news.
Can you imagine that we fucking got to a place where this fucking virus that you can't see at all, we fucking figured out how to just make that
Go away.
more or less go away after
Yeah.
3,000 years of dealing with it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the
Yeah.
Congo, around 1 to 10 people who contract monkeypox will die. But that is not the case in the U.S. No one has ever died due to the virus in the States.
What was the number? One out of
1
10?
in 10.
That's high. That's high for the area.
So
So 50
10%,
people out of
yeah.
those 500 people are going to die.
Yeah.
that
that's high.
the suffix pox, like, does that mean? Because I'm thinking of
I think a pox.
monkeypox, chicken pox,
Yeah,
smallpox,
I think pox is like what we just saw there. Like this, these are pox.
like dotty, blistery
Yeah.
things, like you're getting speckles on your
Yeah.
skin type thing.
At this time, we don't want people to worry, U.S. Surgeon General Dr. Vivek Murthy told CNN. These numbers are still small. We want them to be aware of the symptoms, and if they have any concerns, to reach out to their doctor. So here's how it's transmitted. Monkeypox can spread through a few different methods. Direct contact with body fluids or the blisters that pop up on the body can lead to transmission. But the main way is through respiratory droplets. While that might sound familiar after 2.5 years of COVID-19, monkeypox does not spread easily. Someone would have to be in prolonged contact with an infected person to contract monkeypox. The CDC has said that the person infected in Massachusetts poses no risk to the public and had recently traveled to Canada. Fuck! Where officials are investigating 17 suspected cases in the Montreal area. The CDC is currently investigating another possible case in New York City. Both patients are currently isolated in the hospital, and the Massachusetts resident is in good condition.
I just looked up pox, and it says that it is a virus disease characterized by pustules or
Yeah.
eruptions.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So
That's
like
a
kind of
nasty
like
word.
sort of like the plague, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, guys, we should just call this show the Do Your Own Research Show because like we just constantly are doing our own research on the show. It's so good.
While the United States cases have been isolated incidents, Portugal, Spain, and the United Kingdom have seen larger clusters of infections. The CDC said that many of these global reports of monkeypox cases are occurring within sexual networks. Anyone, regardless of sexual orientation, can spread monkeypox. Healthcare providers should be alert to any rash that has features typical of monkeypox, said Dr. Inger Damon, a pox virus expert at the CDC. We're asking the public to contact their healthcare provider if they have a new rash and are concerned about monkeypox. And the way that it's treated, the virus typically resolves on its own, but there's no exact treatment. So a dose of the smallpox vaccine does seem to improve symptoms if given soon after the person is infected. Experts have found. And the CDC said that in the event of another outbreak of monkeypox in the U.S., CDC will establish guidelines explaining who should be vaccinated. Currently, though, an outbreak seems unlikely in the U.S. As cases have been isolated. And in the 2003 outbreak was due to a shipment of animals from Ghana to Texas, who then came in contact with prairie dogs sold as pets. Everyone who contracted monkeypox in the outbreak had been in contact with an infected animal and did not get the virus from another
Guys,
person.
you know what's crazy is that I just Googled because I was thinking of doing our own research and like reading these things. Like we go to reputable sources to read about these things. But I was curious, like if we just were really bad at looking stuff up and we were going to like Telegram and QAnon influencers and stuff, what would be the other narratives that we might find on the internet?
Oh, hit us.
And there's one.
We really need to go there?
This QAnon influencer, I'm not going to say his name,
my
speculated to his 80,000 Telegram followers that monkeypox could be a ploy to lock down America and push mail-in ballots right before the U.S. midterm elections in the fall.
Yeah, well, that's the state that we're in.
Well, hey, let's see what happens then.
And you know what? And this is
We'll circle back to
the
this.
battle with the current state of how information flows in 2022 is that the internet can provide correct answers and information and also the most ridiculous and absurd information. And it takes like becoming and teaching people to be discerning individuals is probably the most important character trait that you can try to like nurse in a growing human.
And another reason to stay tuned to
living in.
Sick Boy Podcast, because this is where you're getting the good fucking shit. The only information that's real and no speculation. We don't do that here. Folks, thanks
Super
for tuning
palatable.
in. We hope you enjoyed that. Very fun. What a big week. Can't believe that we had a conversation with the Minister of Mental Health. That was really cool. And listen, another thing that I want to say, let me bring this up here. The episode isn't going to come out on time, but we just had a wonderful conversation yesterday with Matthew August Jeffers. He is a little person and an actor. And Matthew Jeffers is the star of a new film titled Unidentified Objects. It's fucking incredible. Highly suggest you check it out. And if you're listening to this right now, up until June 5th, you can stream Unidentified Objects through the Inside Out Festival. It just happened the festival itself just happened in Toronto, but they're allowing people to screen the film from home. So insideout.ca if you want to watch it. And the film is going to go on to the Frameline Film Festival in San Francisco, followed by the Outfest Film Festival in Los Angeles. It's a story about a little person who's also gay, who is finds himself in a bit of a pickle. And it's got some weird fucking scenes, and it's really cool, right up our alley.
If you're into aliens and abduction and that sort of thing,
it's really cool. Matthew was a fucking amazing guest. We can't wait for that episode to air, but it's not going to air in time for you to hear it and then go watch the movie. So up until June 5th, wherever you are, screening digitally across Ontario. So if you're listening in Ontario, up till June 5th, you can get tickets and watch at insideoutfest.ca.
Half the money beforehand. Now.
Whoa, what?
What? If I get half of the $1,700 in advance, You can borrow my car on 3 conditions. 1, no eating in or drinking inside. You don't strike me as a very tidy person. 2, no parallel parking. If you need to stop, you find a nice, easy spot where you can pull right into. No back and forth, no adjusting the wheel. And 3, I come to.
You want to drive to Canada?
God, no. No. But I was supposed to before, and I didn't. And if I don't go now, I never will. So, $1,700 half up front.
Anything you want. You don't know how much this means to me. Yeah.
Okay. Wait here. I'll pack.
Oh, Mr. Peter H. Winona J. J for Jordan. Can already tell this is gonna be amazing.
Yeah. So fucking amazing.
So amazing.
Yeah.
Folks, we're coming out west. We're gonna come to you. We're doing a show in Vancouver on the September 21st. Tickets are going to be going up sometime soon, and followed by that, we're going to be doing a show in Calgary on, I believe, September 25th. Could be the 24th. And that's going to be really fun. And who knows? Maybe we'll fit in a show in Edmonton. So keep your eyes peeled to our social media. And we can't wait to come out to see you, Vancouver and Alberta, because it's always a fucking sick time.
Man, crazy live shows again.
Yeah,
so much
it's
fun.
gonna be so much fun. So keep your eyes peeled. Tickets will be going up soon for those things, and we can't wait. Thank you for supporting the podcast. You can leave a rating or review on Apple Podcasts, or you can just leave a rating on the Spotify mobile app. And if you want to support the podcast further, hop on over to our Discord. You can find the link in the show notes.
And if you want to tell me why I need to be wearing a helmet or giving me some advice on how to teach my baby to sink or swim in the pool, then you can do that by sending a letter to letters@sickboypodcast.com. Or if you want to be a guest on the show, you can go to sickboypodcast.com/contact.
Thanks as always to the folks that make this show happen. A huge thank you to our manager, Jeff Lonis. We love you. To Rich O'Coin for the theme music. Man, I said it last Feel Good Friday, but if you're not supporting Rich's campaign over on Indiegogo, you're missing out, because
do it.
that new album is,
I can't stop playing it.
it's a banger.
Yeah. That is it for this week.
I'm Brian.
I'm Taylor.
And I'm Jeremy, and this is Sick Boy.